Brie Larson. I mean, she's like the gift that just keeps on giving, right? She's like the retard who can't stop babbling and babbling the dumbest stuff. I'm sorry, it's just so funny. She is so funny. What is she? She's this moron, this woman who's a complete fool, who's doing the press tour, the press junket, in support of Captain Marvel. And what is she doing? She is antagonizing her future audience. She is throwing shit on precisely the people who would want to see her goddamn movie. It's unbelievable. I'm sorry. It's this whole, get woke thing that has hit the top 10% of the population, the people who are in charge of the marketing campaigns and shit like that. It's just so goddamn funny because these people, these ideologues, these fools, because that's what they are. These fools are trying to make their products be quote unquote woke. And nobody wants these products that are woke. They just want good products. Check out what happened to the Gillette ad that basically shit all over men who are the primary consumer of their product. They basically made an advertisement where they basically said that anybody who's a man is just a bully bastard and just an awful guy. Boys will be boys, as the slogan of that fucking ad said, right? And what does that make us feel? It made us as men feel like shit. And so what did we decide to do? Or at least what I decided to do, and just about every guy I know. Fuck Gillette, let's go with Schick or any other fucking brand. Anything but Gillette. The whole woke notion, the whole idea of being down with intersectionality and shit like that, what is it ultimately? Ultimately, it's trying to appease women. And not even all women, because most women don't like these effete little soy boy cucks that are held up as, good guys, feminist allies. I don't know. Most women like manly men. Most women like masculine men. They don't like soy boys, right? The only ones who like soy boys are feminists. And how many people are feminists? What percentage of the population are they? Infinitely small, vanishingly small, microscopic. That's why all of these, woke campaigns in marketing and movies and books and all the rest of it, they always fail. Because the only people who are interested in this kind of crap are an incredibly small audience, practically zero. And of course, more to the point. See, sales is about encompassing people, bringing them in. That's what sales is about. But intersectionality, woke culture, or let's call it woke marketing, what is it about? It's about dividing market and shitting on certain segments of your market. It's about actively antagonizing portions of your market. Now, this Captain Marvel movie, right? It's going to come out in the beginning of March. I can tell you right now, without even seeing a single frame of that picture, that it's not going to cross the $100 million mark in its opening weekend. I mean, they can do all the media that they want, all the press that they want, but they are antagonizing the very audience that such a film would have. Compare Captain Marvel to Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman campaign, was it intersectional? Was it woke? Fuck no, it wasn't feminist or any bullshit like that. It had this hot woman dressed up in the Wonder Woman suit, and strutting around and being what she's supposed to be, which is, of course, the fapping object of teenage boys. That's what Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman are supposed to be, okay? It's not complicated. It's very simple. Wonder Woman succeeded because it didn't fuck with its own audience. It didn't shit on its own audience. But Captain Marvel, intersectional, woke, feminist Captain Marvel, how do you think it's going to do? Not only do I think it's not going to break the $100 million mark insofar as its box office receipts, I'm betting that it's going to be a full-on flop. Unless the movie is like, Empire Strikes Back level of artistry and storytelling, There's no other way for it because it's antagonizing people. It antagonizes its own audience. It hates its own audience. And we hear it from Brie Larson herself. She hates white guys. It's all good and fine to hate white guys just because they happen to be white. Well, if you think about it, that's basically bigotry, but that's for another conversation. The point is, see, a movie is a very expensive undertaking. A movie is a business venture. The idea of making a movie is to make money. You show a spectacle to people, an entertaining spectacle, and hope that they come to the theater, hope that they pay tickets to see your spectacle. Now, there are a lot of lessons from the disaster that's going to be Captain Marvel. And the principal lesson is, of course, know your audience and understand your audience and accept who your audience is. Because like I said, the audience for Captain Marvel are teenage boys and young men in their early 20s who want to see a really hot kick-ass girl that they can masturbate to when they go home from the theater. That's the God's honest truth, and that's a fact of life. You might not like it, but there are lots of things that you might not like but exist in the world, like cancer and heart disease and poverty in Africa and shit. They're awful, yes, but we gotta work with what we got. We can't pretend that the world is different from what it is. But see, these woke marketers, they don't like their audience. They don't like the fact that the people who are going to go and see Captain Marvel are these, teenage boys and early 20s young men. They don't like the fact. They don't like the fact that they tend to be nerdy. They tend to be involuntary celibates. They tend to be, quite frankly, kidults. Adults or young adults who still act like children. And that's a fact. And they act like children and with all the messiness and slobberiness of children. And that's a fact of life. That's their market. But you can't be providing a product for your market and shit on your market at the same time. Not if you want to sell. Now, in my own case, I know who my market is. Young guys who are a lot like me when I was young. Yeah. Do I wish I had a different audience? Yes. Yes, I do. I wish I had an audience of girls between 18 and 24, single girls, all of them really thin, blonde, beautiful, hot, and all of them, of course, just adoring me and wanting to just rip my clothes off, whenever they see me. That would have made a truly great meetup in New York. But of course, that's not my audience, okay? I mean, I wish it were. It'd be funny. It'd be great for me, yeah! But that's not my audience, okay? And of course, the people who watch my content, I appreciate them and I'm thankful for them, right? Do I wish them to be different from who they are? Well, in my own personal case, no, because my audience are, like I said, they're young men like I used to be. And in point of fact, I make these videos, as I've said many times before, for my kid who's 3 years old, whom I suspect that when he's 20 something, maybe in his early 30s, is going to be like me, okay? He's going to be a little shit who didn't know shit from Shinola, a little moron who's going to need all the help he can get. That's why I'm making these videos, okay? So I don't hate my audience. But the people who made Captain Marvel, the people who are doing this woke marketing bullshit, this intersectionality capitalism, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, they hate their audience. The people who made Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, at the head of the class, they hate their audience. And so that's what you're seeing. You're seeing people who have made something extraordinarily expensive, hundreds of millions of dollars spent on the movie, tens of millions spent on advertising and promotion and all the rest of it. But they don't like their audience. They don't like the people who are going to pay for their ticket. And so that's why they're going to fail. Never fall for that trap. Never fall for the trap of wanting a different audience, a different market, a different demographic from the one you've got. You've got a certain demographic who are your clients, a certain audience, a certain whatever. Whoever it is who supports you, You have to accept them. You have to make them bigger, bring in more people, because that's always, you want to sell to as many people as possible, right? But see, you cannot devalue your clients, ever. You cannot shit on your clients, ever. Your clients are all you've got. If you don't have clients, if you don't have a prospective audience, if you don't have the people who want what you are selling, or worse, if you antagonize them, what will become of you? You'll go broke. And that, of course, is exactly what we're seeing with this woke marketing. They are so fucking woke. They are so intersectional. They are so fucking feminist and just aware, quote unquote, of all the social injustices going on and all this bullshit, right? That they have alienated their audience. They are woke, and now they're going to go broke. There are lessons to be learned here. Pay attention to this Captain Marvel fiasco. For one, I'm going to be paying, extra special care insofar as the Captain Marvel fiasco. And I'm betting a lot of people in Hollywood are also going to be paying attention to it. Because this is going to be the second time a franchise has been severely hurt by a woke movie. The last one was The Last Jedi. That was a fucking flop. And it destroyed the Star Wars franchise. And nobody gives a shit about Star Wars. And the Star Wars movies that's going to be released at the end of 2019, yeah, it's a make or break situation for the whole fucking franchise. The one movie, The Last Jedi, nearly destroyed the franchise. It's this close to being canceled altogether. We're not going to see the same thing with the Marvel movies, because the Marvel Extended Universe is a lot stronger, a lot healthier, a lot more robust. There have been a lot more movies. And Kevin Feige, who runs the whole Marvel movie franchise, he's a smart motherfucker. And what's he going to do? He's going to take a lot of lessons from the Captain Marvel fiasco. Let's hope, rather, that he takes lessons from the Captain Marvel fiasco. Because if he doesn't, if he continues pushing this woke marketing and this intersectional bullshit, if he keeps on shitting on his own audience, that audience is going to leave. And where will those $100 million, $200 million, $300 million movies be without their audience? Where can any entertainer be without his audience?